Hello, family and friends of Seward United Methodist. This is Reverend Mary Kay. It's Wednesday again, and taking a moment to record some thoughts for this day, the day after our national elections. I woke up this morning, and the thought that was in my mind was the chorus of a Mark Miller song. Mark Miller is a contemporary composer, and I really appreciate his music. And the chorus is, God has work for us to do. And I realize that as we are in this time of waiting to see who will be elected president of this country, who has been elected, we just have to figure out the vote counts, that when it comes down to it, whether it's Donald Trump or Joe Biden in the White House, there is work for us to do. God has work for us to do. This country is broken in so many ways, and there is such a partisan abyss, and we need to somehow find our way back to truth and compassion and common decency. So with those words from the Mark Miller song, God has work for us to do, going through my head, I went searching for the lyrics, and Wes helped me find them, and I want to share the words of the hymn. I'm not going to sing it. I want to share the words of the hymn with you. Till all the jails are empty and all the bellies filled, till no one hurts or steals or lies, and no more blood is spilled. God has work for us to do. God has work for us to do. Till God's will is done and all things are made new, God has work for us to do. Till age and race and gender no longer separate, till pulpit, press, and politics are free of greed and hate, God has work for us to do. In tenement and mansion, in factory, farm, and mill, in boardroom and in billiard hall, in wards where time stands still, God has work for us to do. In classroom, church, and office, in shops or on the street, in every place where people thrive or starve or hide or meet, God has work for us to do. By sitting at a bedside to hold pale, trembling hands, by speaking for the powerless against unjust demands, God has work for us to do. By praying through our doing and singing though we fear, by trusting that the seed we sow will bring God's harvest near, God has work for us to do. With those words in my mind, I also thought of John Lewis. And in his book, Across That Bridge, that talked about his experience in civil rights movement and working for social justice and crossing the bridge in Selma, he said this: ours is not the struggle of one day, 1 week, or 1 year. Ours is not the struggle of one judicial appointment or presidential term. Ours is the struggle of a lifetime, or maybe even many lifetimes. And each one of us in every generation must do our part. So that's what I'm thinking about on this Wednesday, the day after election. I'm thinking about the work that God has for me to do. I'm thinking about what is my part to make a difference for the common good in our world. And so I wonder, what is the work God has for you? God has work for us to do. God has work for us to do. Till God's will is done and all things are made new, God has work for us to do. All right, time to push up the sleeves and get back to it. Work hard this week. Take care, y'all. Bye.